Welcome to another episode of Two Beers, One Movie in association with Top Floor Films. We're talking about The Last of Us. So this is a brief little small review. I'm going to be doing a longer conversation, hopefully with a guest soon, which will be on the Top Floor Film page in the TFF Film Chats. New kind of podcast that we'll be doing. This is just a brief review of the overall series. So I'm going to try and be quick. I know I've done the first few episodes a couple of weeks ago. I was really pumped for it. The first two episodes were amazing. Third episode was really good, although it did deviate from the original part of the game. Great performance in the third episode as well. It then kind of built a little bit more momentum, especially up to Endure and Survive, which I believe was the best episode of the series. We got the most infected in that episode. We had the most tension. And I think it was the most gut-wrenching ending of an episode, which what happens if you've not yet. I do think I'll go with the pros first. The pros for Bella and Pascal, excellent casting. All of the casting, actually, all of the acting was amazing from every character. If they changed a look or a feel to a character, I know a lot of people went mad over the casting of Ellie. I don't know why. Fantastic, amazing. So some of the writing in terms of the interaction with the characters is really, really good. We got this. The main thing, I suppose, with the Last of Us game was the story embedded with the chaos around them in the apocalypse and the end of the world, and this dystopian feeling that surrounds them, or feeling that dystopian era that they're living in, and the emotion of Joel and Ellie's character coming together, the father-daughter bonding was really good, and it came across so well on this in the series, shall I say. It's shot really well. I mean, beautifully shot. Some of the scenes just look so good, and the score again, just majestic, just winding in and out of each episode or each scene, and it really, some of it was beautiful to listen to, and especially you get the shivers in your spine because when you played the games. The production design on the infected, everything was tops. It felt like the world in The Last of Us. It felt like you were in the game, because everything was spot on in terms of what they looked. The cons, I felt, this is just me, it lost its pacing after episode 3. I wouldn't have changed much of episode 3, but I wouldn't have spent an hour and 15 minutes, or maybe it's an hour because 15 minutes and so, or with Ellie and Joel. I wouldn't have spent the whole hour with Bill and Frank. What I would have done, this is me personally, I would have had still the same interaction as the game, where Bill and Ellie have that kind of really, really interesting, fun altercation. But I would have had flashbacks to when he first meets Frank and the relationship growing. I felt that episode was rushed now when I think back. Basically, they're banging in 10 minutes and they fall in love in the space of a day. It just feels so rushed, that episode. And I think because the episode is a beautifully made episode and beautifully acted, that it got a lot of praise, but overall structure in terms of how the rest of the season went, I think it kind of made some of the episodes stumble across the line, should I say. It lacked a lot of tension after apart from a few episodes here and there. That's probably one of my biggest things about it. Lack the tension, very little infected, especially like most episodes It's just the two characters. If you've never seen or played The Last of Us, it just felt like you were introducing new characters, getting you invested in, to kill them off. No character development for other characters. In the game, it feels different because you're playing the characters and you actually don't get to know Bill that much. Which why I think it was a bit odd that they spent a whole episode for him, as well as what acted and made, where they could have just done flashbacks. I had no problem with them interacting with different characters like they do in the game, but a lot of it just, so much of it felt rushed. Even to the finale, it's only 43 minutes long. That felt so rushed. And I get they can't put every scene from a game into a series. You just can't do it. It's not plausible. There's parts in the game when you're going around just fucking causing anarchy and killing everyone, especially with the infected. And they made the bloater the bloaters and the clickers a lot more dangerous in this than they are in the game, because when you're going around the game you end up just killing them easy enough then eventually. So they made them a bit more aggressive and harder to kill, which I really like. We just didn't see enough of them. Lacked that tension. I thought the balance between emotional and character development, the tension with infection and action, was swaying too much towards the character development. And I love character development. Give me two actors acting in a scene all the time. But the payoff sometimes just didn't feel like it was deserved. It was like, here's a character, this is emotional now, that character's going to die. And the build-up just didn't feel good enough to me. The tension wasn't there, especially in the episode with Riley. Now, if some people have not played the downloadable game, and in that you get more you get to come up against more infected, and just that infected person just sitting there and wakes up while Riley has been there before. She said she's been stationed and she searched the place and she doesn't find him. You know, it just it felt a bit put there on purpose. I think the season was very well made. I just felt a bit disappointed that it wasn't the level I thought it was going to be. The final episode was very rushed. Episode with David was really good, really well played. Really liked that episode as well. Endure and Survive, the first two episodes. They're probably my four favourite episodes, and there's a few episodes in between that a lot of them feel like filler for the sake of filler, and they lack that tension. And I get it's about human interaction and emotion, but we've got that for 10, 11 years with The Walking Dead. What made The Walking Dead amazing for the first, let's say, 4 seasons or whatever, maybe 5, depends on your opinion, was it had the mixture of the emotion, the family, the love, with the right amount of tension with the infected or other groups. This just felt everything was here, and the tension and the infected was here, and it didn't really balance out evenly enough for me. Hopefully enough, season 2, which will be expanding more on the game 2, first part of game 2. I'm assuming they can't do the whole game 2 on one season. It's too much. You have Ellie's story, you have Abby's story, but it's really interesting to see. I really like the series. I think it was a 7.5 out of 10. Definitely wasn't the masterpiece that some made out to be, although the first 2 episodes really did have masterpiece written all over them, and we got bits of that through the season. Kind of like these episodes like 3, Kin as well, maybe they were kind of just fillers for filler's sake, where they could have had still a bit of that filler with a bit more added tension into each episode that would drive the narrative a little bit better. I mean, the episode 3 really didn't do much anything else for the whole series except be a beautifully made and acted episode, rather than something that had impact on the series. I didn't feel the impact. Now some people may, but I didn't feel it. Like Endure Survive had that impact, I had that emotion, I had that feeling of love and loss, but it still had the tension with the infected, and we didn't get enough of that, unfortunately. But that's just my review. I will be doing a lot longer breakdown with a guest soon. So please tell me what you think, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next episode.